And now I'm talking to David Healy, a councillor from Howth, representing the Green Party in Howth and Malahide. David, how's it going?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Alright, David, could you tell me how serious is the disposal of plastic pollution problem in the world today?
I suppose we've seen over the last 30 to 60 years an entirely new type of environmental problem being created. We have used and we are using an awful lot of plastic for packaging, for single-use plastic uses, and thereby creating an enormous environmental problem. It's ending up on the land. Therefore, everything goes somewhere, and this is what we're starting to realise. It goes into the sea, it goes into the rivers, and when it gets into the water systems, it doesn't go away. It breaks down into smaller pieces. And I suppose there might have been a view initially that if it broke down into small pieces and you couldn't see it, then it had gone away. But of course what we're now realising, and the scientists are now doing very detailed work demonstrating the microplastics, i.e. the small pieces of plastic, are ending up everywhere. And they're ending up in the water that we're drinking. They're ending up in the food that we eat, especially people who eat fish. It's ending up within the fish, and it's the nature then of the consequences of that are also becoming apparent. There are issues and there are considerations that some pollutants are attracted to the microplastics and build up on them, and we have it from a whole series of sources. We have the obvious ones that we know about, like plastic bags and plastic bottles. But we also have microplastics coming from with the microbeads in pesticides, in cosmetics, which have got a lot of attention. But we have fibres coming from artificial fabrics, and they're all made of plastic fibres, and those fibres actually wash out of the clothes as they're washed, and then end up in the sewage system. And thereby end up in the sea as well, or in the rivers. So it's a problem which is now at a global scale. These plastics are being found in the environment all over the place, and they're accumulating in particular places, particularly in the oceans. And I think everybody's now aware of the impacts of wildlife eating the plastics and getting tangled in them and dying for those causes.
My friend told me to ask you, is toothpaste affected as well by them, do you know?
So there have been some toothpastes which have had microbeads put into them, i.e. little tiny pieces of plastic. I don't think it's that common within toothpaste, but it certainly has happened.
Yeah, we'll come back to talk about microbeads in a couple of minutes if we can. When I've researched this topic and seen it for the last few years on the internet, I see some countries, particularly I think they're developing countries, where they have the beaches are full with plastic. It's just unbelievable. What countries are the biggest culprits when it comes to dumping plastic into the ocean, like full plastic?
I think I don't have the kind of the statistics on it. There's certainly enormous problems who have appeared in the last couple of years in a lot of developing countries where they haven't had effective waste management systems for a long time. So in countries where a lot of urban waste was simply thrown on the ground and left, when that waste was made up of biodegradable materials, it caused plenty of problems, but it didn't cause the same problem that we're now getting with plastics. So what's happening in quite a few developing countries is plastics are like other waste, are just dropped on the ground. They're then washed into the rivers. In some countries they are being washed into the urban drains and blocking those drains so badly that the cities are flooding, and certainly that's one of the causes of major flooding in Indonesia. The rivers are then ending up full of plastic bags, and of course all rivers go to the sea, or almost all rivers go to the sea, and so then the sea and the beaches are ending up with enormous quantities of plastic bags, particularly in the vicinity of large cities. So we have the same sort of a problem here, just at a smaller scale. If you go to any of the beaches around Dublin, you will find plastic bottles, you will find little tubes which are the plastic core of earbud cleaners, which come out through the sewage treatment system. So you'll find waste which has come through our sewage system. You'll find stuff thrown overboard from boats. You'll find discarded fishing gear. And in Ireland, of course, because we have a levy on plastic bags, you'll find far fewer plastic bags than they do in countries where plastic bags are freely available.
So it's not a case in these developing countries, is it, where they're just literally just using the sea as a dump, or does that happen in some places, or what's the story like?
I think, to be fair, it's with many countries it's a degree of scale. They do have municipal waste systems, but just like we have a litter problem here, they have litter problems, and in many of them those litter problems are bigger because they have a large amount of plastic bags. In countries which do have a large amount of plastic bags, and not every country does, Ireland isn't the only country to have a charge on them, and indeed some countries have banned them entirely. So plastic bags remain an enormous problem in countries which have them, and many of those countries don't have the same, for example, plastic bottle problem that we have in developed countries, because of course the use of large quantities of plastic bottles to carry water around is something you have to be able to afford to do, and in many countries that's too expensive.
Yeah, I know Britain have a plastic bag levy as well. That they've got good results out of that happening as well, haven't they?
That's right. Ireland pretty much set an example at a European level, but every country which introduces a levy on plastic bags finds that it brings about an enormous improvement in the amount of plastic bag litter in the landscape and in the waters.
Stephen Collins, who would be, I think, one of the top 3 political commentators in the country, had an article, a column a few days ago on plastic in the Irish Times. He said that there should be some kind of a refund system. People in Ireland who are dumping plastic should be. The problem is so huge, so it's good to see someone like him covering the issue.
So that's, that idea of a deposit and refund system is the response which we're looking for to plastic bottles and indeed aluminium cans. A lot of countries are introducing deposit and refund schemes for beverage containers, and it's been operating in a number of European countries for a very long time. Of course, we did have it here, operated by the companies themselves, without making it a legal requirement, but it was an effective way for them to recover the bottles that they were selling soft drinks and so on in. In a lot of countries, beer bottles are a standard size. They just return to the nearest brewery. But the big increase in interest in deposit and refund schemes in recent years has been from coastal countries, as they're seeing it all ending up on their beaches. So quite a lot of countries with coastlines are saying, look, we have to deal with these plastic bottles, and the way to do it is to put a deposit on them, and that means that either the people who have them will bring them back, or other people will collect them and bring them back.
So in these countries that have huge problems with plastic pollution, there is actual good work going on, is there?
There is work going on in a lot of countries around the world. A lot of countries are engaging with it. As I said, for example, Rwanda has entirely banned plastic bags, and as you come across the border, the customs officers will ask you if you have plastic bags and fine you if you haven't declared them. So in a number of places, in a number of Pacific Island countries are putting deposits on plastic bottles. So it's not unique to Ireland. It's not unique to developed or developing countries. These are common problems that we face, and we see that the ways of dealing with them do work in other countries. We showed it here with a levy on plastic bags, and other countries have shown it very effectively with a deposit return scheme on bottles.
Okay, just to finish up, is there anything else you're calling on the Irish government and other governments to do, and do you have any advice for our listeners on this issue?
This is an enormous issue. It's something which we need to deal with at local level, national level and international level, and EU and so on. At a European level, there's a commitment to a circular economy strategy, and there's an increasing recognition that disposable and single-use plastics should not form part of our economy, and will not form part of the circular economy as we transition towards it. At a national level, obviously, policies like deposit and refund schemes, a levy on disposable cups, these are all initial steps which need to be taken. very rapidly now because their effectiveness has been demonstrated. At a local level, we need to make sure that people can get a drink of water without buying it, or certainly without buying a plastic bottle. And drinking fountains and things which are common in many countries need to be more common in Ireland. And every organisation needs to look at its practices and ensure that they're facilitating people getting a drink of water or coffee or whatever it is in a reusable container.
A friend of mine pointed out to me yesterday, I didn't know this, but Sky News are apparently giving this issue huge coverage recently. Do you know about that, too?
That's right, yeah. Quite a few media organisations have taken it on. Sky has been campaigning on this for a couple of years now, particularly to keep the plastic bottles out of the sea, and I think they've been claiming some of the credit for the Scottish decision to go for a deposit and refund scheme. I should also mention that it's wider than just the bags and the bottles. The issues with all the other plastics we're using, and in particular with the plastic fibres coming from artificial fibre clothes, is something which we're really going to need to tackle, and that's a very big challenge as well.
Are there any organisations along with yourselves, the Green Party, that you'd recommend kind of following to stay in touch with on this issue?
There are quite a few NGOs in Ireland which are active in this area. At the policy level, I think Voice definitely stands out, which is Voice of Irish Concern for the Environment. They've been campaigning on a lot of circular economy and plastic pollution issues for a number of years. Then there are organisations dealing with the coast. Coast Watch does an annual survey and is recording every year the impact of the plastics on the coastline. So that's the fishing gear, the plastic bags, which they recorded when they've been recording for many years. When the plastic bag tax came in, they recorded a big drop in the number of plastic bags on the beaches. And of course they've seen the increase year on year of plastic bottles, so they also are campaigning for deposit and refund scheme. And then organisations like Sustainability are doing the beach cleanups and would be very eager for people to join in. So if I can mention, there's a beach cleanup on Earth Day, which is the 21st, Saturday the 21st of April at Sutton Creek at 11 o'clock. You can get information on it from Sustainability, SEASTAIN-ABILITY. They have a website, so if you search for them, you'll find information on that.
Okay, Dave, it's great talking to you. We'll be talking to you again about this issue. Thanks very much.
Great, thanks very much, Darren.
Anish Tom Kinsealy, Cllr David Healy on Comhaontas Glas, Daithí Ó.
Oh, good morning.
David, Keiko Donna agus atá five le truailliú plastics a látá new on Darlat.
Well, tá tuiscint anish agus anlí seo dhéanamh agólaí le cúpla líon anish gur five an bhór seo agus go muineann sé le gachné den saoil san isce agus san áirge go háirithe. Téann a golóir plastic is teach san áirge agus tá siad ag rá tá réomhaisnééis déanta go inis go méid níos mó plastic san áirge ná éisc faoin bhliain 2015. So tá sé ag teacht ó buidéal ó málaí plastic ó microcrníní sin na microbeads mar gléitarthú agus na mion PC plastic eile ag dul isteach san áirge.
An bhfuil mé ceart a rá go bhfuil na fibanna is má maidir le truailliú plastic a dtíortha in ná forbartha?
Tá agsúlacht na tíortha tá anaib I go leor tíortha I mé forbartha nach bhfuil choras láidir bailúcáin brúscar agus rábhíle acu agus dá bhrí sin bhíh fiban ann nuair bhíh gachrad déanta as ábhar nádótha de cathair an sráide agus bhí trúlú I gceisteach ní bharach sé de bhriseach an ábhar trí man nádótha ach leis an plasticin atá fáil go forlahan sa dá nniu nuair cathair an sráide tein sé stoc san isce bhealaí san abhainn nó sa choras draenála dar nó I cúpla tíortha bhíonn anaibn acu le málaí plastic agus ábhar plastic eile a dhéanann tiltte os réide go gurrann sé an choras draenála as féin agus dar nó ten gachrad chuig an áirge agus bíon na tráthe agus an áirge trúilthe ag málaí plastic go han donna I go leor tíortha An seo an éireann bhí íslú mór ar an méid málaí plaisteach a feicach ar na tráid de bhar an cáin ar málaí plaisteach nuair tógadh isteach é. Agus bhí Coastwatch ag déanamh survey ar na cladaí agus na coastí na hÉireann ag an tam sin agus de tháinig siad agus de Howth siad an íslú mór a tharla de bhar an cáin.
It's like Stephen Collins on Irish Times counting na colúnathe politiúil is fearr sa téirm ó tharmse, scríobh sé altar an gceist seo le déanaí, cad a ceaptú faoin méid a bhí le rága?
Well, the bhfuil sé go dog for isteach choras deposit and return. Anyway, an choras sin in a écan tú breis chun ag gur an budgéil agus go bhaint tú raise nuair thugann tú an budgéil a rais go dtíon siopa. Agus bhí an ceartige sin ar ceartúing dhéanamh ní léon dat ach bun céim atá ag gceist chun an ahrú mór atá ag taisteáil chuig Gaeilge ceorclach mar an léitear ar san Intas Eorpach a chur a bhaim ina méid na ábhar seachas ag dul amach sa cóthaíoil agus ag déanamh feible sa timplacht oring go méid an ábhar ag fanacht sa córas acnamíoch fanacht sa Gaeilge agus ag déanamh maithas dúinge mar úsáid achfaní Cllr seachas ag déanamh dochar dúinge taobhmhaig agus dochar an cóthaíoil.
Tá lán caint fhí seo ar na man sosiálta ach go háirithe feicim na cúpla bliana nuas agus díntaach an áise an na man sosiálta chun poiblicht dhéanamh ar ábhar mar seo. Feicim sé go bhfuil gur sort picture anna donna é ach bhfuil me ceart ará go bhfuil a lán forbartí maithe ag tarliú ar an ábhar seo fiú I dtíortha I mé forbarthe leis na feibanna is mó.
Yeah, I mean níl aon ceangal idir forbairt na tíre agus an doling lechatá leis an aib I go leir tíortha forbair tá céimena an na láide tócha acu tá cáin curtha bhaim I cúpla tíre deposit and return schemes curtha isteach I dtíortha eile tá cúpla tíre ina bhfuil coscomláin ar málaí plaisteach mar shampla Rwanda agus tá siad ag feicnamach ar an aib agus ag rá well bégan doing déile leis agus ní féidirling an trúlú ceadún tá nói tá deposit refund schemes like ní rud nua é de tháinig sé isteach the deposit and refund scheme deirtar ag aibrú I mlá clia nuair tháinig isce minerals isteach ní liscam breis céad chuige nó beidir gá céad bliana hin agus tá nó bhíoh sé ag gach choras joch den haid sin nuair thosaigh sé mar bhí an luach ar an budgéil agus inis tá leis an ahrú tá sin níos éasca den na cólachtaí an aibh a chur amach ar an pobl agus ligans den canithóir nó den pobl I gritine agus údar ásáitiúil déile leis le feib an brúscar a chruthíonn siad. Agus beag doing tiantú ráis ar an dearcha sin gur is leis na cólachtaí an aib agus is beagán dóibh déile leis agus mar sin bégan go méid deposit and return scheme I bhaim I ggur na budgéil agus a léid.
Tá tú mar bhall agus Cllr den Comhaontas Glas cadíad na hagrachtaí in éireann eile a bhíon ag obair I gcuine na fáibe seo agus ag an deire an bhfuil éon cóirla go dar éisteoirí ar an gceist.
Tá cúpla agríochtaí ar bhall am luamh ar dús voice aibríonn ar an levéil politiúil agus ag tá ag déanamh sáiribre ag chuirla chéile policy agus multi politiúil so sin Voice Ireland mas Malahide níos mólas áil fuhu. Dar nó Coastwatch atá ag déanamh an survey an a gach bliain ar an costa na cladaí agus gachnéad an costa agus ag tuairt an tuiscint an mion anna bhíon anna láidir ó héhólaíochte ar an aib atá a rowing agus sustainability atá ag déanamh clean-ups ar an trá agus tá ceann le teacht ar sin lá an down ma Earth Day mar létar ar an fiú héanú lá is fiche de mí Aberon ar an Saharn ar trá Kilfiontan so taobh leis an aglas i Kilfiontan ag a héindeag ar maidin so beg an ólas faoi sustainability SEA STAIN ABILITY beg an ólas ar fáile faoin anam sin freisin.
So just mar gháirle multha tú chun dul a jaagháil lá chun níos mó óras agus chun obair ar an gceist seo,
Yeah, I mean, it's féidir léine dul a jaagháil lomsa mar eall ar freisin davidhealy.com an CV duliontágam agus the Twitter no email no gohan tá méidir gúr aibre le gachtain mar eall ach tá iscom go bhfuil na trí agartí sin ag aibre gohanhá agus go bhfuil fánar chu níos mó takeíocht tar aine